This is like a follow-on to Reverend Simon Sideways' video earlier, titled Can't Read or Write, Join the Police. And it's a little story of what happened to me a few years ago now, because I think it sums up the police here in the UK rather nicely. Now, back in the noughties, I was a prison officer. I just left the army, and one of my first transport jobs was taking an arsehole to Portsmouth Crown Court. And so we got there, and soon enough, lunchtime came. I thought I'd go and explore Portsmouth. So out I went, still in my prison officer uniform, and all I wanted was a quick bite to eat before going back to court, sitting through a long, laborious, dull trial and going back to my prison. That's all I wanted. So I stepped out, and Portsmouth, for the first time to me, looked like the apocalypse. It was like the 1970s. Or, to put it more accurately, like one of those ruined cities out of Planet of the Apes. I don't know. Anyway, so I walked through Portsmouth looking for somewhere to eat, and I was suddenly approached by 3 policemen. So these 3 coppers from Hampshire Constabulary stopped me in the middle of the street and asked to have a word with me. And I thought, what the hell is this all about? Because I was stood there, I was wearing my prison officer's uniform, and I was rather intrigued. So the non-Caucasian guy, I've got to be careful what I say here, he started speaking to me, and I couldn't understand a word he was saying. And bless him, he was really trying his best, but his English was worse than the people who live in Portsmouth. I'm only kidding, but you get my point. Now, the 2 Caucasian coppers with him, they looked embarrassed. They had their hands in their pockets, and they kept looking down, looking at each other, and looking at me. And this ethnic minority police constable was still warbling on at me, and I had to break the ice. So I looked at them, I said, right, what the hell do you guys want? And then one of the Caucasian coppers said to me, basically, what he's trying to ask you is, would you mind being part of a ID parade? And I said, you must be joking. Look at me, I'm a prison officer. Why would you approach me? I mean, you're in the middle of Portsmouth city centre and you're asking a prison officer, what the hell is going on? Are you on drugs? And then one of the other Caucasian officers, he says, don't ask us, it was his idea, pointing to the guy who couldn't speak English. So I told him where to go, and off I went back to the court, and that was that. Now, this story to me is testament that there are coppers walking the beat today who can't speak English. If they can't speak English, they can't write English. And if they can't do any of them, how the hell are they going to engage with members of the public? How the hell are they going to comfort victims? How the hell are they going to solve crime? And this means, as I've said before, there are police officers in Britain today doing that job because they tick boxes. Now, I myself, after I left the army, my initial career choice was Hampshire Constabulary, funnily enough. And it took me 3 attempts. Even while I was still a prison officer, I was intent on being a police officer, but it didn't work out. Now, it took me 3 attempts to get through the vetting interview process for Hampshire Constabulary. On the 3rd time I passed. I'd had my final interview, I was waiting for a date to start, and then I had a letter saying they were only recruiting from minorities, religious minorities, certain genders, etc., which left me deflated and disgusted. I mean, I was a commander in the army, alright, I was only a full screw, a corporal, but still, I am now, as I was then, a no-nonsense kind of guy. I've got no qualms chasing criminals and arresting them. I wanted to be that person on the streets that kept people and property safe and upheld the law. I had no idea at the time how woke and politically correct the police infrastructure was here in the United Kingdom. It doesn't have a institutionalised racism problem. The police in the UK has an institutionalised woke problem. And they are recruiting people who have no links to the area which they will be walking the beat, who can't speak English, who can't write it, and don't do as the Romans do. And this is very important. And that is why the police is in such a state as it is today. It's woke cancer, it's politically correct cancer, it's progressive cancer. Nobody has respect for the police anymore. Everyone laughs at them. They ran away from Black Lives Matter rioters. And there's endless videos on social media of inept police officers where gone are the days you had to be 6 foot Now you can have pint-sized coppers, and they're being manhandled on videos, on social media. They're being laughed at, they're being ridiculed. The Notting Hill Carnival, there are videos of female coppers being used as things to be ground on, people grinding their groins against them, and they're doing nothing about it. The police in the UK needs an overhaul, root and stem, big time. Otherwise, we're not going to win this war against whatever it is, whatever entity it is, weakening this country, ripe for a takeover. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you like. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next time, Roger Trout.